Hello everyone, I'm Zara Chaudhary and I'm back with another video. So today's video will be inclining more towards the teen films and we'll be diving a little deeper into them. We'll be talking about teen films in general, as in their themes and what their style is, and we'll be talking about some positives too, as in how they sometimes really get teens and how we feel very relatable. We'll also be talking about the negatives, as in the part where they portray some unrealistic things and we start to expect them in our lives and how it is a bad thing. So teen film is a film genre whose target audience is teenagers and young adults. They're mostly set in schools and colleges. The main themes of teen films are usually love, rebellion, conflict, peer pressure, conflict with parents, and sometimes conflict with friends. Why are teen films so appealing to the audience sometimes? Well, young people, in order to gain peer recognition and their need to be very self-independent and the establishment of their self-image, they are able to self-identify themselves through teen films. Teen films really appeal to the younger audiences, as in teenagers and young adults, and one of the main reasons is because the central theme of them is something that is relatable to them, is something that they've seen or they're going through. For example, when they see a high school setting and they see the characters sitting in one class attending a lecture, or a character talking about a subject that they don't like, they can relate with that. They can say that, oh, this is something I do too in a day-to-day life, and it in some way makes them feel special and seen. For example, in the movie The High School Musical, the main theme of the movie is the start of something new. They're always facing problems, they're always doing things that they don't want to do, and the audience can find it really engaging and relatable. The film industry has a difficult time portraying teenagers in an accurate manner because teenagers in real life don't live these glamorous lives, and not everything in their life is so perfect. For example, doctors don't get so involved in their patients' personal lives, or cops don't play these giant cat and mouse games with their suspects, but the film industry portrays so, which is not realistic. An example of the 2007 show Gossip Girl, which is a portrayal of the elite upper class of New York and how their lives are so scandalous and they're just a bunch of teens attending high school. Well, high school is not like that in real life, and movies like that really set unrealistic expectations for teenagers when they go to high school and when they reach that age. Although Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird has been able to portray a teenager in a somewhat accurate manner. A high school senior, Christine McFerris, is a headstrong and smart-mouthed girl, and that quality leads to her making a number of genuinely misguided decisions. After a series of mishaps, the character is not seen very pissed and she does not make a very dramatic outburst. She's kind of okay with it and she just goes with it. And this movie perfectly depicts how life isn't always dramatic, and Lady Bird found the story in the quieter reactions after that debacle. After a bad event in her life, the main character, the heroine, is not seen reeling. She just has a good cry with her mom and then picks herself right back up and then goes on and enjoys life like a normal teenager, not worrying about how her showing up at the dance without a boy will be such a big deal. Let us talk about older actors portraying the teenage experience off screen. Sissy Spacek was 27 when she played Carrie. John Travolta was 23 when he played a Brooklyn teenager in Saturday Night Fever, and 24 when he played a teenager yet again in Grease. And the productions became more and more guilty of casting older adults as teenagers. For example, Rachel McAdams was 25 when she appeared in the 2004 epic rom-com The Notebook, and in the same year she also starred as Regina George in Mean Girls as one of the main characters. Imagine, the meanest teen in the film was 25 years old. Well, in the movie's own words, she doesn't even go here. And it goes on. The main cast in Pretty Little Liars ranged from 20 to 24 years old. When The Vampire Diaries started filming, Nina Dobrev was 20 years old. One of the most famous shows, Gossip Girl, had a star cast of Blake Lively, who was 20, and Leighton Meester, who was 21. So clearly we've all been living a lie. It's clear that except for a portion of some significant characters, everybody is above the age of 20. But why? Well, the answer might not be as scandalous and improper and as juicy as you think. It is because of the child labor laws in the United States. It is all because of the limitations of having a minor on set, as in, when you're a minor, you need to have a guardian with you when you're shooting, and there is only a specific amount of hours where you can work. This becomes a very big weakness for the productions, as they require the actors to shoot for longer hours, and it just becomes easier when they're shooting with an adult. Taking an example of Molly Ringwald, she was set to star in the teen iconic film The Breakfast Club. She was only 16, but the producer explained how director John Hughes was fine with working a minor, as he thought that she was perfectly fit for the role. Then it becomes easy for us to understand why a casting director will lean towards older people to shoot with. What impact does it make on us as teenagers who was watching it? Barbara Greenberg, a PhD in clinical psychology, says that casting actors who are in their 20s as teenagers complicates an already challenging time for teenagers. In her words, it can give the message that they're supposed to look good all the time. A person in their 20s are more likely to have a more consistent appearance than a teenager who are always changing constantly in terms of their appearance. As she says, some days we're a little thinner, some days we're heavier, some days we have a pimple, our hair looks frizzy, but it's all okay. But when the teen idols on screen don't share the same anguish as us, it becomes very challenging and it becomes very damaging to our self-esteem. Greenberg explains how it leads to all kinds of body image issues and self-comparison issues. All of this eventually leads to social comparison, and we all know how bad social comparison can be, as it eventually ends up killing all our joy while we have all these sorts of thoughts in our minds. And yeah, perhaps that is the reason why some casting directors have a very different opinion on casting real teenagers as teenagers on the screen. Take Saved by the Bell. It began with actors who were around the age of 13 and 14. The show's casting director Robin Lippin said that her and her director wanted to depict an accurate version of a teenager, and to do that they casted real teenagers. She said that her producer wanted it to be very realistic, and the kids who watch it, they wanted them to feel relatable to it. Well, you can say that teens are not paying attention to this at all and they're just hoping to be entertained, but when you look at it psychologically, the teenager is anything but a passive viewer. Well, that is the end of this video, and I hope you had fun. So the next time you grab some popcorn and sit on the couch and turn on Mean Girls, try to think about what this movie is trying to make you think about your own life. But most importantly, don't feel obligated to dress or act like a certain way as they show teens on a screen. Everyone has a right to their own individuality. Bye!